Are you getting ready for Camino de Santiago in 2024?
Let's see what's happened in 2003, which was the record-breaking year on Camino de Santiago in many categories.
Just have a look at this 20,000 spike of the Camino Portuguese Coastway compared to the last year.
What?
What? 40% of increase on that particular route?
And take a look at the increase of 65 years old Pilgrims, which propels American walkers into the number 2 position, the highest number of participants. And what about the presence of people from Iraq and Iran? Where's the Camino going to 2024? What we should expect, what we should be vigilant about.
So let's decode the trends and dive into the Camino prediction for 2024. Not looking at the magic ball, but the stats from the Pilgrim office.
We're gonna go through 4 predictions plus an extra bonus, which will help you not only to understand the Camino 2024, but prepare. Abracadabra, buen camino!
So the first prediction is about crowds, because we all want a place to sleep after a long day, right?
The 2023 was the busiest year in the history of the Camino de Santiago, with staggering 69,000 and 65,000 in August and September, the busiest months of the Camino.
But this is not the most interesting.
Look at these 2 stats closely, and let's zoom it into this particular period. Do you see any differences? There are visible increases of pilgrims in the first months of the season compared with the last year. There was 11,000 pilgrims in March, which is 7,000 more than the last year. 40,000 pilgrims finished the Camino in April, which is 6,000 more than the last year, and 60,000 pilgrims did the Camino in May, which is 12,000 more than the 2022.
Does it mean I cannot come? Does it mean I'm not gonna find a place to sleep?
The best tip that we can give you is to choose the second part of the month. Have you ever heard anyone starting their holiday on the 18th?
Or 17th?
Yeah.
Nah, everyone does it on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So the great tip from Caminotellers would be...
Start on the second half of the month. By the way, who do you think walk the Camino the most, men or women? Write it in the comment below and let's see the result in the end of the video.
So by now everyone should know what is the busiest part of Camino de Santiago. French way.
Look at the graphs. 218,000 people that walked Camino de Santiago, which is 40+% of all participants.
But is it as huge as it seems? The stats are showing us unexpected results.
Look at the black square in the corner, and if you compare it to the last year, you will realize that the Portuguese Coastway increased by 22,000 people, which is 40% of entire presence. So if your choice of Camino Portuguese is because it's not too busy, we advise you to rather have a look on the other Caminos, which equally interesting still will be an oasis of silence and solitude.
And the starting point?
Of the first 6 positions of the highest frequency when starting, on the 6th point we have the Porto Central Way. Then on the 5th it's the Ferrol, Camino Inglés or Porto, Portuguese Camino, Saint-Jean-Pierre-de-Port, the beginning of the French Way, Tui, the last 100 kilometers of Camino Portuguese, and obviously Sarria, last 100 kilometers of the French Way.
So there's a high trend of getting to Santiago from its last 100 kilometers, caused by many different reasons.
Money, time,
motivation,
perseverance.
and this won't change, and actually it will increase.
If you do your first Camino, a good idea is to do the French Way from Saint-Jean-Pierre-de-Port, as you will be living the spirit of what Camino is, which is still not so promoted in the other Caminos. But if you are deciding to walk in the solitude or you want a second Camino experience, choose a less traveled route. Still less traveled.
If you still have doubts on which route to take, what are the best places to stay, and any other doubts, join our pre-Camino support calls. These are Zoom calls in which we help you plan and prepare for Camino to make it as stress-free as possible.
Head to the website Caminotellers.com and sign up now. Yay! Have you ever wondered who's actually walking the Camino de Santiago and why is it so important? Let's look at the stats of 2023 because we have new players in the house.
Look closely at the change that occurred in 2023 compared to 2022. This is a change of paradigm and the dominance of international pilgrims on the Camino. Let's see who was in the first 10 most popular nationalities on the Camino. Ireland, with nearly 7,000 pilgrims who arrived to Santiago. Korea, with 7,500 pilgrims, which is 40% more than the previous year. Mexico is on the next place with 8,200 pilgrims. Great Britain grew to 10,500 people in 2023, which is a record. On the 6th place we have a French pilgrim slightly above Brits. Double of the amount are Portuguese walkers with 20,000 who are on the 5th position. German pilgrims are on the 4th place with 24,000 walkers. And on the podium we have unexpected drop from the 2nd position, Italy, which for many years occupied the 2nd positions of the highest amount of pilgrims. So who we have on the 2nd place? Yep, our American pilgrims are walking more than ever, and 32,000 of pilgrims are flying across Atlantic Ocean to arrive to Spain. And the number 1 is, yep, Spanish people with nearly 200,000 pilgrims.
But what makes it even more interesting is looking at the people coming for Camino from all over the world. Look at those at the bottom of the stats.
So in the bottom part of the statistic we have unexpected result, like for example, nearly 500 Iranese pilgrims arrived to Santiago. Iraq, 121 pilgrims. Belize, Aruba, Chipre, Kenya, Chad, Kyrgyzstan, Kosovo. How many places that I never heard about? Mali, Nepal. 4 people from Nepal joined Camino de Santiago this year. Togo, Tonga, and Zaire and Zambia.
That means that Camino de Santiago goes beyond the religion and unites all human beings in the inner search of feeling part of something, feeling understood and feeling happy.
Men or women? Who walked more Camino de Santiago in 2023? Remember to write it in the comment below and we'll see the result at the end of the video.
And the last point of predictions before going into the bonus, probably the most curious one and actually the consequence of the previous knowledge that we gained. What are the reasons for your pilgrimage? And the results are quite surprising.
The faith is the main reason for nearly 180,000 of people, which is a lot, but it's still a pilgrimage, so it must be so. The second important reason is spiritual, which also shows us the inter-religious interest on Camino and universality of the Camino, that despite being designed as the Catholic pilgrimage, it gives the space to everyone who's looking for answers for the deeper questions. And the third is non-religious reasons, which is falling down by nearly 2%.
And this gives us an indication that people who walk Camino de Santiago are looking for a holistic approach for the journey.
Are you one of them? If so, we have designed the Journey Within Retreat, the 4-day gathering just before your Camino, where you can imbibe the Camino spirit, you can go through slowing down process, letting go, and mindfulness preparation with like-minded people, which will set you up in the right track for your Camino de Santiago. Head to our website and check your dates. Still few places left, but not too many.
So men or women? Who walked the most Camino de Santiago in 2023?
53% versus 46%. Yep, the women are taking over the Camino and since many years.
Yeah, close it. Now when our bag is ready, it's time for the bonus information, without which all the previous predictions aren't really applicable, and with which you will surely be ready for Camino de Santiago 2024, 5,
6.
until the end.